Fear is something that all human beings know very well. It can come in many shapes. Sometimes it feels like a storm in the body, with a racing heart and shaking hands. Other times, it is more quiet, like a heavy weight in the chest or an uneasy thought that will not go away. No matter how it appears, fear is part of life. To deny it, or to fight it too strongly, often makes it grow even larger. When we look closely, we see that fear is often connected to uncertainty. We do not know what will happen, so the mind begins to create many stories. Some of these stories are small, like worrying about being late to a meeting. Some are large, like fear of sickness, loss, or even death. These stories are not always true, but the body reacts as if they are real. This is why fear can feel so strong, even when nothing dangerous is present. To understand fear, we need to notice that it is not the enemy. It is a signal that our mind and body are trying to protect us. Long ago, fear kept people alive when they met wild animals or other dangers. Today, even though our lives are very different, that same system still lives inside us. In this way, fear shows that we are alive and sensitive to the world. When we begin to see fear as a natural part of being human, we take the first step toward making friends with it. We do not need to push it away or feel ashamed. Instead, we can open our hearts to it, and slowly, it will no longer control us in the same way. When fear rises, our first reaction is often to escape. We try to run away from it, to distract ourselves, or to cover it with busy activity. But the more we run, the more it follows us. It is like a shadow that becomes longer when we try to move quickly away from it. Instead of running, we can choose to pause. To pause means to give ourselves a little space, even just for a moment. When fear comes, try to notice where it lives in the body. Is it in the chest, the stomach, or the throat? Does it feel tight, heavy, or restless? By paying calm attention to these details, we begin to see that fear is not endless. It has a form, a color, a shape. It rises, stays for a time, and then slowly changes. When we give fear this calm attention, something surprising happens. Fear becomes less frightening. It is no longer a huge dark wall, but more like a passing cloud. The storm inside begins to lose power because we are no longer feeding it with resistance. We are simply noticing it, as if watching a bird fly through the sky. This practice does not remove fear completely, but it changes our relationship with it. Instead of being ruled by fear, we stand beside it and watch it with steady eyes. In that moment, we begin to discover freedom. Fear may still be present, but it does not decide our actions. Our calm attention becomes a light that shows us the way forward, even when the path is uncertain. Fear often feels like something we must fight against. Yet if we look more carefully, fear can become one of our greatest teachers. It points us toward the places in our life where we are still holding on too tightly. It shows us where our trust is weak and where our heart is still fragile. In this way, fear acts like a mirror. It reflects back to us what we most need to see. When fear speaks, it often says, "Be careful." But hidden inside that message is also an invitation. The invitation is to grow stronger and more open. For example, if we fear being alone, that fear is asking us to discover our own inner strength. If we fear change, that fear is reminding us that nothing in life stays the same, and learning to accept this truth can bring deep peace. To learn from fear, we must listen without judgment. This does not mean we agree with every story fear tells us. Many of its stories are not true, but by listening, we learn to separate the story from the signal. The signal is simply telling us that something important is touching our life. Over time, this way of listening turns fear into a guide. Instead of standing in our path as an obstacle, It begins to walk beside us as a companion. It teaches us patience, humility, and courage. When we see fear in this new light, we no longer feel so small before it. We see that fear is not here to destroy us, but to help us grow into the fullness of our human journey. When we begin to see fear not as an enemy, but as a part of our life, we open the door to live more freely. Fear does not need to disappear for us to find peace. It can stay, but it no longer controls us. It is like a guest who comes into the house, but does not take the seat at the head of the table. We allow it to be there, but we continue our life with kindness and strength. Living with fear in this way means we do not wait for perfect safety before we move forward. We understand that life itself is uncertain. No matter how much we plan, surprises will come. If we wait until all fear is gone, we may never begin the journey. But if we accept fear as part of the journey, then each step becomes lighter. We walk with more trust, knowing that fear will rise and fall like waves, but it cannot sink the whole boat. This approach gives us a wider view of life. We see that fear is just one voice among many. There are also voices of hope, love, and wisdom inside us. When we do not let fear take over, these other voices become stronger. They remind us that life is bigger than our worries, and that even in difficult moments, there is beauty, connection, and meaning. To live freely alongside fear is not to escape from it, but to carry it gently, as one carries a small stone in the pocket. It is present, but it does not weigh us down. In this way, our life becomes more open, more balanced, and more true to who we really are. Fear is not something we can remove completely, but it is something we can learn to live with in a gentle way. When we stop running from it and stop treating it as an enemy, fear loses its sharpness. It becomes part of the flow of our human life, no different from joy, sadness, or surprise. Each of these emotions comes and goes, and each can teach us something valuable. When we accept this truth, we begin to rest more deeply in our own life. We no longer wait for a perfect future without fear. Instead, we find freedom right here, in the middle of life as it is. Even when fear arises, we can still breathe, still smile, still take one step at a time. This simple way of living brings a quiet strength that no outside condition can take away. As I close these reflections, I wish to offer my sincere thanks to those who watch with patience, who share kind comments, and who continue to support this channel. I am deeply grateful. Your likes and subscriptions show that these words reach your hearts. Your thoughtful comments bring warmth and connection across distance. Your super thanks and membership support make it possible for these teachings to continue. Each gesture, small or large, is received with respect and appreciation. May these words stay with you, not as heavy instructions, but as gentle reminders. May they bring comfort when fear arises, and light when the path feels uncertain. And may your days be filled with peace, even in the presence of life's many changes.